ISB show. Sahil Rahi back to Europe today for a topic that we have been wanting to do for a while, and it's very appropriate because we have followed some of these teams very closely. But now is the time to say who is the best of the Scandinavian region, Rahi. That is 4 teams, if those are not familiar. That's what we're going to talk about in this video.
Historically, there's only one right answer because there's only one team who's had the historical success that Denmark has had. We can get into that in a second, but they are the only ones who have won a European championship. They've won a Confederations Cup.
That is true. That is true. But we are talking modern day. So let's get into this right now, guys. We'll get into it right now. We're going to go team by team, first of all, based on the FIFA rankings, and we'll finish off with our pick for who is the best team today. So let's start off with the team you mentioned, Denmark. And of course, Denmark is a name that we have heard a lot about. This is a very experienced squad playing in a lot of big name clubs, a lot of players in big name clubs. We're going to get to that right now. And they're ranked 21st in the latest FIFA rankings.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Danish fan, you better be a Manchester United fan, right? That's where you got to be watching because, of course, Højlund there. Dorgu's actually having a good preseason. He might be a big part of what they do. I mean, it's a team of very solid players, right? Damsgaard, we saw him when he was younger. Now he's really coming into his own. Højbjerg, the one who pulls the strings. Mala, of course. I mean, this is a good Danish team. They're a good team. They qualified for the Euros. They did well. Not as well as we might have hoped, but they did well, right? Yes. Got out of the group, lost to Germany, and what was sort of a one-sided game, in my opinion.
Yes, but a good Nations League performance that they just had. They actually won the match, right, in Denmark at home. And actually, people forget this. Portugal, of course, winning the Nations League, but they were very close, maybe a few minutes away from eliminating Portugal, because in the match in Portugal, Denmark had the match tied up at 2-2.
Yep.
And of course, then the late goal. But, defensively very solid. We, of course, didn't mention Christensen, but he's been a stalwart for a long time. So this is the squad that is the most, I would say, experienced in terms of Scandinavia. And I think hence the high rankings, we're seeing them now in the quarterfinals of the Nations League. So they've never really disappeared from that top echelon since they got there, maybe, I don't know, a decade ago, maybe, so to speak.
Yeah, you remember 1998? That 1998 team that took Brazil, nearly beat Brazil. Of course, the Laudrup brothers and Bassand on that team. I think it was 3-2 they lost to Brazil. It was close.
Yeah, so they had that period of time. Then in the middle, it was a little bit, not as strong. Right. But then again, like the last, as I mentioned, maybe decade, maybe a little bit more than decade, actually. Denmark's been involved in all major tournaments, and they've put up good showing.
Yeah, very, very solid, right? Of course, they tied England in the last Euros. And to be honest, I know we're talking about the Scandinavian teams, which we'll talk about in a second, but Denmark beat both Sweden and Norway, I believe, in 24. So they've beaten both these teams that we're going to talk about.
Yes. So they are right now the top ranked squad. The next up, if we go to by FIFA rankings, is Sweden. Now, we had a video about Sweden, and a lot of their players are in the news right now based on the transfers. We talked about this young attacking core. Now with Gyökeres, the latest move to Arsenal. Isak, of course, stalwart with Newcastle, and he gets to play with his buddy Elanga over there for the time being. But it's a young attacking core that is now entering their prime.
Yeah, this is the most exciting time to be a Swedish fan, perhaps ever. And we've talked about Denmark is solid, and they've had recent success, and they've been in every major tournament. Sweden, of course, had some times, right? Of course, Ibrahimovic, of course, Larsson. There's been massive players along the way. But have they ever had more exciting young talent than they have now? You didn't even mention Mr. Kulusevski himself, a fantastic player. Another Larsson, of course, Hugo Larsson on this team as well. So there's multiple options here going forward. So this is a time to be a Swedish fan. I think they have the biggest upside of any of these teams.
It's very fascinating core. As we talked about before, this is, like you said, I think this may be the best time to be Swedish. So up front, you got all these superpower attackers that are now going to take it to the next level. I think the one area, again, the question mark, we had a match recently against Luxembourg, which, the first time Luxembourg has ever beat Sweden. So in a big Nations League tournament. They had a good showing in the Nations League. That was the one blemish, I think, in the last few months.
Yeah, that's still inconsistency at times, and they are susceptible at the back.
Yes.
That's the challenge for Sweden.
That is the challenge for Sweden. Okay, moving on to another team that has a strong attacking core, 33, so ranked behind Sweden in the latest FIFA rankings at this point in time, which is an interesting development coming off the thrashing that Norway handed Italy in the last round. And this is a team, of course, in this channel we cover a lot, but just we need to mention a few things about them again in this video.
They have what no one else in the region has. They have a genuine world-class superstar that is proven, and that's Erling Haaland. That has won everything there is to win at the club level. An incredible talent, an incredible player. Nobody like him on any of these other teams. Yes, of course, they have a young, exciting player in Antonio Nusa, has yet scratched the surface of his potential. Of course, they have Sorloth alongside Haaland up front, another great player. I mean, Sanderberg, they have some solidity around the team and some exciting pieces. But we know what a superstar can do for a team. We know what a single superstar can do for a nation. And they have the guy.
And I think that what you're seeing, you mentioned Sanderberg, and of course we saw Ryerson in the, had a great match in the last one against Italy, and they've come up with some good performances. You're kind of starting to see the other pieces of the puzzle of this team come together. A little bit like Sweden, they struggled a little bit in the back previously, but they're starting to tighten some of that up, and maybe less of a dynamic core than Sweden, just based on the youth of Sweden.
Definitely less.
Yeah, based on the youth of Sweden and kind of what Sweden's bringing up now to the table. But nevertheless, a very, very strong squad in Norway. So we will finish it off. Anything more you want to say on Norway?
No, I think we've said a lot. They're exciting. They're young in some ways. They have a superstar, but they haven't done it in a big way yet. But we finish it off. There's a fourth team that people are forgetting maybe in Scandinavia. There's 4 countries now. Yeah. And that's Finland, of course, 69th rank, quite a bit below the other nations. But the thing about this team is they're always a difficult team to play against. Just ask Poland, who just played them and lost in the World Cup qualifiers, right? So, interesting players, and they got a guy who's, kind of making some noise right now. They do. And they're, as you said, they're a difficult team to play against. Of course, they've gotten some big results over the years, famously give Croatia trouble, this famous Croatia team that's done so well. So it's a team that's always been plucky. It's a team that's always found ways to get results at times when they shouldn't. And this Poland victory is a big one, I think, because now you're thinking, okay, can they get results in the biggest moments, right?
Yeah. And of course, the man I was referring to is straight out of the Marvel universe himself, the Ant-Man, Mr. Antman, who plays for Rangers. Big move for him. Right. Young player who, when he was very young, actually Barcelona looked at him. So it's a player that has been rising up the ranks. And of course, when you have a guy at the back, Lukas Radecki, who's been a stalwart for them for a long time, stalwart for the clubs he's played for as well.
Timo Pukki still going strong, still on the bench there.
Timo Pukki, you're right. Still coming through when they need him here and there. So it's a team that, look, on their given day, they can pull a shock. And so they're in this conversation for who is the top team. But now, Rahi, we've gone through all the teams. It is time to come back to the question at hand as we finish this video. Who is the best as of today, 2025, mid-25? What do we got? Who is the best?
I have to give it to the Danes because right now they still are the best. But a close second, I would say, that's going to be the best. Ask me again in 6 months, it will be Sweden. I think Sweden is full of attacking promise, full of excitement. But I have to go on results for right now. So it's still Denmark, just barely. FIFA got it right.
Denmark nicks it for you, huh? Denmark nicks it. I think we're all in agreement that Finland is number 4, by the way, in this ranking.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You know what I'm going to say? I am going to say that the Danes are not at the top anymore. I think the Danes have had their time. I'm going to say it's a very tight race between the top 3. So I'm going to put Denmark at 3 at this point.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Denmark at 3, marginally.
Okay.
And now it's between the two up-and-comers. And I have visual representation to help me out for my decision. So
I know what this
here
is.
we go. Here we go. My pick for the best team in Scandinavia is
Okay. I thought you were gonna pull out some Swedish
Norway.
fish. Okay.
No,
Norway.
Norway. Okay, look, I just think this team, based on how they performed in the qualifiers, I keep going back to the Italy match, but like
He's impressive.
that's not a joke. And until Sweden does it, like I've said before, on the biggest form, on the biggest platform, I can't say Sweden. Norway has proved so far, so I'm going with
Yeah.
Norway. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm bringing that back. I should actually wear it, but I'm just gonna do this.
It's a bold pick. It's a bold pick, but it might be the right one. That Italy game was an announcement to the world, and we shall see. But we're very likely to see all three of these teams next summer in the US, so we get to see.
We shall see. Let us know your thoughts, Norwegian fans, Swedish fans, Danish fans, Finnish fans. Maybe we got it way wrong. So let us know your thoughts in the comments about who you think is the best team in Scandinavia. And as we always say, keep watching Scandinavian football.
Huh?
Keep watching the beautiful game. See you guys soon.